Hey guys, this is Boys. I'm back with another video, and in this video we're going to be doing something different called as the Tech Talk. You might see this in many other channels they've done. They'll be talking about newer stuff like rumors and about new things that are being releasing. So in this video we're going to be talking about the new iPhone XS, Poco F1 and many other devices which are being rumored to be released very soon. So what did you guys hear about the iPhone XS? So first I'll introduce first. This is Anish Nawali right here. And over here we have Vishnu Gupta. And behind the camera we have Arnav R. Joshi, who's monitoring the audio and also shooting the video. So yeah, what have you heard about the iPhone XS till now?
So I've heard that the main design change of the iPhone XS will be the new gold color. It will be the same for even the iPhone XS Plus. This gold color was rumored to happen for the iPhone 10, but due to production issues, they postponed it to the iPhone 10. So that's the XS. So that's the only physical change.
So there's no XS Plus or something?
There is a XS Plus. It's going to be the same size as the current iPhone 8 Plus, but as you know, the iPhone 8 Plus has huge bezels. This is going to be all screen except that one notch, which is not going to shrink.
So they're going to be two models. There's the XS and XS Plus.
Actually, there are going to be three models: the iPhone XS, the iPhone 9, and the XS Plus.
So iPhone 9. So what did you hear about iPhone 9? What's different from the XS?
The iPhone 9 is aimed for it's like a budget iPhone, mainly introduced to compete with the cheaper flagship phones. It doesn't have all the bleeding edge technology as XS and XS Plus, but it's rumored to come in multiple colors like yellow, green, red, and blue, and so on. And
yeah, like the iPhone 5C when they released it many other colors.
Yeah.
It will be some same thing,
It'll
but
have-
with the glass back.
Yeah, for the wireless.
it'll have
charging.
wireless charging, and even the processor is going to be the same, Apple A12, whatever they're going to call it, for
Okay.
all three. But the iPhone 9
What about
will
the
have-
RAM?
Yeah, iPhone 9 will have 1 gigabyte of RAM less than the XS and XS Plus. It's rumored to have 3 GB RAM.
Oh, so it will be like somewhat like how 5C and 5S was released, where 5S was much better than 5C.
Yeah.
Like
This is going to be the budget iPhone option.
budget iPhone, yes.
Yeah.
But they were talking about the iPhone SE2 to be released, but it will be much expensive. Like in Indian rupees, you can say it as 45,000. So when we saw the iPhone SE1, it was like about when it was released, it was like 30K. Then it came down to somewhere between 20,000 right now. So yeah, we have to be waiting for the price drop. Mainly iPhone SE price dropped because of the older design.
Yeah.
They released later on the bigger phones. They didn't want the smaller size one. Only the pure iPhone 5S lovers, they bought the SE.
First of all, the SE is not confirmed to get a new version this year. It was rumored earlier that the new iPhone SE2 is going to come, but now many reporters like Minchiko believe that the iPhone 9 will be the replacement to the iPhone SE2, but also recent rumors suggest that it might come. So we're not completely sure on the SE2, but
Yes.
as of now we're sure on the iPhone 9, XS and XS Plus.
Yeah.
Yeah. 10S Plus.
Yeah. I think the iPhone 9 will be replacing the iPhone SE2, which was
Yes.
rumored to come.
Yeah, because they're talking that it'll be in budget.
Yeah.
But the iPhone SE was launched mainly because people like the small form factor. But the iPhone 9 is rumored to be 6.1 inches, which is actually not small. It's bigger than the standard iPhone.
Yes,
10s.
because they made it small back then because they wanted it in the like 5S form factor.
Yeah.
Nowadays people want bigger size phones. So even if it's 6.1 inches, it is in the 19:9 ratio. You won't feel that it's such a big phone. For
But
example,
the form factor of the whole device itself is very small.
Yes.
It'll fit in your palm easily.
so for example, if you just compare OnePlus 6, it has a roughly 6 inches screen. 6 inches screen with another phone. So it has a 19:9 ratio. You compare it with the 18:9 phone, you'll somewhat feel the same size in your palm. You won't find any difference. So
But
that's
still,
what's changing.
they could have done an iPhone SE2 body but put a notched display to increase the aspect ratio to 19:9. But I feel before there was a huge demand for small size phones, but now I feel people are fine with larger phones.
Yeah,
That's why
people are
maybe
fine with larger phones because they're used to the thing. Like everyone wants a big screen. They want to view movies and all that vibrant colors. They won't be able to see it.
And as per the notch, don't have high hopes on the notch shrinking. It's going to be the same size.
It's
as
going to be
before.
the same size as the
But
how much
there's-
it was in the iPhone X.
Yeah, but there's going to be a new feature where you can use Face ID on landscape mode. So that's going to be when.
I mean, I don't know why do they still have the face ID. They could have like incorporated the face, not face ID, sorry, the touch ID at the back or something like how they are doing in here.
No, see, Apple has patented for under the display fingerprint scanning technology, but they are not using it yet.
Exactly. I mean, what are they waiting for? The Vivo X21 and all those devices already incorporate that feature. Why don't Apple do that? I don't get it. So we can't predict anything about Apple. Like last minute, iPhone X it was like a surprise thing which they did. iPhone 10, like Face ID, removing the Touch ID completely, and we don't know what is that the future or anything like that.
So up next, the Poco F1.
So now we will be talking about Xiaomi. So we're going to be talking about everything. Okay, Xiaomi, we can call it anything. So yeah, first we'll talk about the Poco F1. It was like a surprise decision which they made. Why did they release Poco F1? Like there was Mi 8, Redmi Note 6 Pro, like so many other devices.
If
Why
you,
this?
if you observe all the cheaper versions of Xiaomi phones, they all use the same Snapdragon 625 processor. Which is a-
625 and 636.
Yeah, but most of them use 625, and that's a really old version processor. So I feel that it's good that they have use a 845 in the new version.
I mean, it's good, but according to that, the price is also higher. So if you compare the processor wise, Snapdragon 845. So that price range is somewhere above 30k, and this is like 22,000 you'll get starting. So what's the catch behind it? We still don't.
So I feel that they've launched the Pocophone to mainly compete with the OnePlus 6 and other mid-range flagship devices, because they feel that there's a lot of competition in that price range. So they wanted to release one phone specifically targeted for India, so that they can dominate the sales for the mid-range
Yes,
flagship.
that will be the main goal, because you can see in the pictures itself they've incorporated the camera this way,
The dual camera
the
setup.
dual camera setup. But whereas if you see other models of Xiaomi, Redmi Note 6 Pro is also rumored to be released with the same way how it's positioned in the Note 5 Pro, Redmi Y2 and everything else. I don't know why they're still going on with that design. So from the Redmi Note 3 till the 5 they have same design. Then from Note 5 Pro, the two Note 5 Pro, it was not their original idea of putting the camera to one side. It was from iPhone X, clearly. So
Something to add, the worst incorporation of notch is done by Xiaomi. I'm sorry
Yes.
to say that, but that is the worst incorporation of having an edge-to-edge display.
Exactly.
They have a huge chin and a huge notch, which is of no use.
So it is. It looks like as if just for the sake of having a notch, they just put the notch there.
Yeah.
So it's like it's a normal Redmi Note 5 Pro, whereas with the notch, that's it. Whereas the chin is the same size as much as how much it was in the normal 18:9 display itself.
Yeah.
So we don't find any
Yeah,
difference.
the
there.
notch is unnecessarily huge, and I feel like all these lower-end smartphones are trying to incorporate a notch to make people believe that it's like a costly phone like the iPhone 10 or 10s.
Yes,
But-
iPhone 10 only changed the whole thing, the notch thing. It was.
But at the
started.
same time, they're not seeing the goal of iPhone 10. iPhone 10's aim was to get as much screen in the
Realistic.
minimalistic form factor as
Yeah,
possible.
yeah.
But what they're feeling is that the notch is a stylish feature, which actually people don't like it. And it also has a huge chin, which makes no sense.
So you might see iPhones, they as much as they usually try to make it small, as much small as possible.
Yeah.
Only the plus versions are big enough, but other versions, so you might have seen the older ISC, 5S and all. You might see it's in the smaller form factor. So iPhone 10 was that reason they made it such a small factor with the display.
And Xiaomi phones were one of the phones to come out with 18:9 displays, and they didn't have a notch back then.
Yes,
Like
but
the
they
Mi
made
Mix and Mi Mix 2S, they don't have notches.
They don't have notches, but they have edge to edge display, like literally edge to edge. But even they've incorporated that from through the display you'll hear the
The
earpiece.
piezoelectric.
Yeah,
I think
Yes.
Xiaomi was the creator of eliminating the top bezel as a whole.
exactly.
then
They were the
went-
first ones.
But
to
then
do it.
seeing other companies like Apple, I feel they've taken a step backwards by adding
Exactly,
a notch
yes.
or
Yeah.
bezels, because they had all the technology to make the top of the phone.
Yes, that's
bezels.
exactly. You see, now they still have the MI mix. They've not done anything to it still. It might be rumored about the Mix 3, but we don't know much about it. So I'll tell you the best combo they make is the Mix 2 with dual camera.
The 2S.
The Mix 2S or something, yeah.
Yeah.
If they make it with dual camera with glass back, it'll be a number one top seller for sure.
I think that's already there. The Mi Mix 2. It has glass back and wireless charging with dual camera.
It doesn't have wireless charging. But dual camera, it doesn't have dual camera, it has a single camera.
The Mi Mix 2S.
Yes. The Mix 2 doesn't have anything like that. So we're going to come back to Poco F1 itself. You might have seen popular channels like Unbox Therapy who switched to Poco.
Yeah.
So it's been like it's like a China brand which like dominated all of a sudden because of the Snapdragon 845.
See, the cheapest phone before the Poco F1 was the OnePlus 6 with the 845.
Exactly.
So these people come out with a cheaper phone, which is almost 15,000 cheaper than the OnePlus 6, and they're using high-end specs. So that's a game changer actually.
Yes,
It's
exactly.
actually rumored that there's going to be one more player in this competition to the mid-range flagships, which is going to be the new rumored Google Pixel 3. It's going to have a smaller version to compete with the Pocophone and the OnePlus 6. And again, coming back to the Pocophone, you can easily see that they've cut costs. Although it has a Snapdragon 845 and 6 or 8 gigs of RAM, it may be tempting to the person who reads the spec sheet and buys the phone. But although you can see that they have cut costs in so many ways. For example, a camera, although it may have a high megapixel count, people feel that higher megapixel counts means better photos, but they don't realize the sensor size, the aperture.
No, it's not only by them, it's by all brands like S9, everything, OnePlus, everyone does that with the megapixel.
If you see, for example, Samsung has changed their camera lifestyle. They're following Apple nowadays. Apple always thought that having a lower megapixel count and changing the other features like the sensor size and aperture, you can get a better picture. So since I think the S7, Samsung dropped the megapixel count from 16 to 12 megapixel, and so they're not in that megapixel hype anymore.
Yes.
And still they are able to produce one of the best cameras with a low megapixel count. So that means that people who know well about how cameras work, then they'll know that the Xiaomi F1 is not the best camera.
Yes, the camera might not be the best thing. I feel it's like something from Note 5 Pro itself they might be using. But what I felt that was different was Pocophone F1 with water cooling. We've heard about water cooling. The first time I heard about water cooling in a phone was Note 9. So after that, hearing water cooling in Poco F1, I really
Actually, it was there before.
Yeah,
Note
actually-
9. It was there in the Razer gaming phone. It's there in
Asus ROG
yeah,
ROG phone.
the Republic
And-
gaming
yeah, but
phone.
it was not like something that very popular everyone used or something.
And also it was there in Samsung itself. Since the Galaxy S7, there has been a heat pipe which contains this water cooling system. The only thing was the Note 9 has a slightly larger water cooling system.
Yeah, but they never
which
advertised it so much that they had a liquid cooling setup.
But
yeah,
still,
I think they did during-
liquid cooling, technology in a
Phone is
cheap
some-
phone as a
Exactly.
Poco F1.
So if you compare
Really
for
great.
S9 or something or S7 itself, when it was released, it was somewhere about 60,000. So if
Yeah.
you compare it to a Poco phone, which is 22,000 starting price, it's really surprising that they have done it.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
as long as like anyone just opens the phone up or something and they check it out, really they'll never know about it.
Yeah, I feel that Xiaomi is able to successfully convince people that they have a super mid-range
Exactly,
flagship.
that's what they're doing in India.
Yeah.
Like the main reason why Xiaomi came up was because of their this one flash sales.
Yeah, flash sales.
It started from the Redmi 1S.
Yeah.
From Redmi 1S till now, they've been having flash sales. For example, right now Note 5 Pro at times has been selling as flash sale in Flipkart, whereas in the nearby shop itself from MI store, we were able to get Note 5 Pro just like that. Like, what are they trying to do? For example, people are going with Flipkart and all those stuff because they don't have time to go to the store.
Yeah.
So what they're doing is like it's a partnership with like Flipkart, so they get more page views and all those stuff, and both of them are making money from it.
Yeah.
It's like
One more way Xiaomi is cutting costs is like they don't have features like wireless charging or OLED displays.
OLED, even AMOLED they're not incorporated.
Yeah.
So it's like That's where they're.
So I feel that Snapdragon 845 is the main thing they're using, like they're using it as a bait to catch more
Yeah,
people.
that's the marketing goal of
Yeah.
Xiaomi.
And one thing they did was they wanted to make the Note 5 Pro the best one out there, but they didn't leave 4K support for it.
Yeah.
Planning to release another version for people to buy with the 4K version. That's with MI82.
Yeah.
It came after the Note 5 Pro with 4K. I don't get it. They had 4K on Note 5, but
Yeah.
not on Note 5 Pro.
Yeah, I don't think Pocophone has 4K recording. Does
No,
it?
it has. It has.
Oh, it has.
It
But
has.
but it doesn't have 60 frames per second.
Okay. Okay. So yeah, that's the thing. So let's just end up with Poco F1 for now. Poco F1 and Xiaomi in detail. This was it. So thank you so much for watching this video, and I hope you guys like this type of new, different style of videos. And we'll catch you guys in the next one. Till then, bye bye now.
Bye.